Knock and ask them to give you salt. Knock and ask them to give you something. I mean, you just go to your neighbor's house, enter, sit down, and you guys will begin to gist. I miss that one too. I miss all the fine hair, all this type of fabrics, all the fine things. I miss it. But well, I'm getting used to them all. I'm getting used to everything. You, what do you miss?
Do I really miss anything? I only miss my people. Yeah, I miss my
Who
people.
are your people?
My people now.
Who are your people?
Our staff members.
Oh yeah, I miss them.
People.
How are you, staff?
People.
How are you, staff? Shout out to you if you're. I know you are watching this. Not if you are watching this. If you don't watch this, who else will be watching? You are watching, all of you. All of you, you are watching. So shout out to you.
I miss you guys. Thank you.
We miss
Thank
you
for holding for. You know, one of the things that I thought was to be a challenge was to leave the business behind for
people,
for these very young people that were newly employed, and they assured me that when we travel that they are going to hold the business tight, that I can go without any fear. And I'm so happy, and I thank God that I get the opportunity to run the company even in my absence, and they have done tremendously well, because not even for me, a lot of people were concerned that why will you leave a multi-million business for people,
for uncertainty?
You know, why will you leave such business for them? And I told them, I said, well, if they eat the money, if they embezzle the money and they finish the money, everybody will go home. But me, I can't stay here while my family is abroad. I must stay with my family.
Thank you very much.
And I'm happy I made that commitment.
And you know, I will always thank you for it, because it's a choice that you had. But the way our marriage has been running, we fight. You know, we started this video with you do this, you don't do this, yeah. But we quickly come back. And I remember that we had to settle it, that I told you that I don't like a distance marriage. I don't like a marriage where my husband is here and I'm there. I won't be able to cope. And you share the same, view. And that's why you were quickly able to put structures in place, make sure you talk to the right people. You also trained this staff. Most importantly, I have seen you treat them like your very self. And I think that's one thing that, they are enjoying from you. You've treated them with empathy. You don't talk to staff anyhow. You've paid their salary regularly. You've always cared for their family as well. So that, I see that, and I also see that at home. So I want to say thank you on behalf of all of them, our staff, our you enterprises. Thank you very much.
Are you going to pay me for that?
I'll pay you in kind.
You have come again. Which one is in kind? Pay me in pounds.
You know I am the Odogu of romance.
Pay me in pounds. So
I will pay you in kind.
One thing again. Before we traveled, somebody actually asked me and said, "You mean you want to?" Because as at that time, honestly, I was already making about 10 times what I was earning when I was working in the bank. And somebody said, if you make this money, why will you make this kind of money in Nigeria and you are still talking about relocation? I said, well, everything within me, my spirit, my soul says I should move. Honestly, the reason I do not know. But all I know is that I'm following my wife and my children to the UK. So now, coming to UK, if I jokingly to somebody, and maybe they believe or they don't believe, I said, with my first class degree in the UK here, I serve tea in the office. I serve tea at the hospital.
So you are matey?
Yes, I serve tea, and I make beds too.
Okay.
In the hospital. Now they ask, are you happy? I said, in fact, some of the patients will ask me, do you like what you're doing? I say, yes, I love what I'm doing. I love it. Now, why do I love it?
Why? Tell us.
Number one, I'm retired. Of course, you know I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'm retired now.
Yeah.
So anything I do now is just like a part-time for me. And remember all the days I work in the bank, all the time I was in the corporate world as a designer, I will sit down from morning till night, designing on the system, designing, you know. And all these things accumulate in the body, at times sickness, because of lack of exercise, lack of movement from the body. Or your joints, are so cramped that, after a while, if you don't take care of yourself, it gives you a very serious issue.
It's true.
And they said I'm diabetic. So as a diabetic person, what will I be doing in a job that I'll be sitting down? So I have to get something that will get me moving all the time. And the hospital job is very perfect for that. Every day at the hospital, I will make more than 10,000 steps. And for me, health wise, it is very, very good. How much more am I looking for? I become a manager. I become a general manager. I become a MD CEO. Now I become a chairman of a company. Now
Founder.
I become a founder. So what else am I looking for? What other bragging right am I looking for? I'm not really looking for any bragging right. In terms of office, I've attained to the peak of my career. So these days now, after my office, after my hospital job, I come back home, I do my painting, and most of you must have seen my paintings. Last year, how many exhibitions did we hold last year? We had about 3 to 4 major exhibitions last year, and they are very successful. So what am I still looking for? And once I have you, I have the children. That's my happiness. And the business back home is doing very well. Those boys are doing fantastically well.
The Oyibo one. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for those, those insights. And talking about when you were told that you were I think it was pre-diabetic.
Yes, I was, but
not diabetic. You were told that you were pre-diabetic, and that if you don't do anything about it, you're going to deep down into, the diabetic.
I fell into it, and I fell into it finally now.
So you were asked to do some things, which you did. You went on total diet.
Wait, no. Let's get the record straight now. What's the reading? 48. What do you call it? I was on 48, officially a diabetic patient, and the doctor told me about this time last year that, Oga, you are diabetic. And I asked him, am I going to die? He said no. I said, okay, what are the implications? He said it has the capacity of cutting my life by 10 years. I said, I don't want to die. So what am I going to do? He said, I have to shed my weight. He said I have to control that's by controlling what I eat.
Exercise.
I have to exercise. I have to. He told me everything, and I said, okay, no problem. And I did those things. As at the last test that I did in November, the diabetes has reversed, so I'm no longer a diabetes patient. You see, so
I would really praise your discipline, because it takes a lot of discipline to be able to do that for yourself without, little or no monitoring. But you got to that point where you said, this is my life, I need to take charge of it, and you did all that you were supposed to do. Thank you. That's the man I married. That's the man I know anyway, Sha. If he sets his mind to do something, he always does it. I remember one gist.
What was that?
Do you remember the last 3 months before I traveled? That would be the last gist that we'll talk about.
Travel to where?
Before I came to the UK.
Okay.
The last 3 months before I traveled, precisely, let's start from September, October, November, and December. I remember. That would be the last gist that we would draw some lessons from. And, this our Sunday gist will be over.